us a photograph first. Is that right?
Yeah.
So we have to stand up for the photograph. Photo of Paul.
Shirley Bassey's speaking. What track on the propeller end out is Shirley Bassey? Does anyone know? Six. I think it's six. 5 or 6.
6. 2, 6, 1, 5.
Doesn't sound very Shirley Bassey, does it? Try 6.
That's it.
There she goes. Shirley. You need to be in the mood.
Some people will dance if they don't know who's singing. Why not your head if your hips that are swinging? Life's for us to enjoy. Woman, man, girl and boy,
Do we look
feel
great?
the pain, feel the joy.
Hype it with the music.
That's every little bit of history repeating.
Telling you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Shirley. Here for Shirley.
Hey guys.
I think we should start off with bombing the Isle of Man myself. Sorry. That was a joke.
Could we just start at the end and the tribute to Michael Hutchins?
Oh, you don't want to start there,
Well,
do you?
yeah, so just get out of the way. How much consideration went into that and the shape that it would take?
God, I was just in a good humour there for a second. Phew. Well, we had a picture of Michael, and we put it through the kind of pop processing, the sort of Warholed it, and you know, this is his country, this is it's his house, and we can't but help thinking about him when we're here. So you know,
I didn't mean to start holding it down.
then bring up a different subject.
Well, let me ask you, a year into the tour, you know, you've been through this world tour so many times. This far in, does it feel like you're serving out the last months of a prison sentence at all?
No, we like it.
No.
The food is fine in this prison.
Yeah.
You know, we're actually spoilt rotten rock stars, and we really don't do or have to do anything we don't want to. And this tour is only a year long, and we get to, you know, travel the world and, you know, kill people. I mean, this is it. Give us credit for one thing: we're not whinging rock stars. And, you know, this is what we always wanted to do. I love being in this band, and I love coming into Australia and getting to stay in, you know, some fancy suite and looking out on, you know, Sydney Harbour. And I think I'm still, you know, scratching my head and thinking, how do we get away with it? We love this, and the advantage of being down here at this point, and South America, and the end of Europe was true. The last 6 months of this tour, we've kind of figured out how to play the songs now, and we are in tune and in time, and I think it's the greatest show on earth, and I think it's a rockin' band, and it wasn't always that way, you know, and it mightn't be in a few weeks. Do you know what I mean? It comes and goes, this thing. But right now,
Sure.
we're in top form. Is that what do you think?
I didn't like that bit about we weren't always rocking.
Oh, there was a
It
few
wasn't
scary
that was-
bits there early on.
Liam, the Fleet Tour in Melbourne, you mentioned before at the start of your tour, your world tour, that you were interested in seeing how much the world had changed since your last tour. Have you found much difference in the world or the response that you've received?
You're nearly a republic now.
That's true.
Jolly good, Adam thinks.
Well, we've seen parts of the world we've never seen before, which was great. We've just got in from South America, and that was a bit of a mind blower. And
Yeah,
it's great
Perth
to
is
be
a little
here.
Protestant after after Chile and Buenos Aires and Rio and Sao Paulo. Couldn't import a few more Catholics, could you? I mean, actually Perth is great, but I think plain seats. You really have to.
Yeah, it's
You really have to. I don't know. It's some law here, and it's not the way to go. I don't think. But, sorry, back to the question. You were doing really good with
Right,
that.
yeah, that was it really. That's all I had to say about the world. We've seen some new bits and we've enjoyed them very much. As for the bits that we actually knew before, I don't know, did they seem different? They seem pretty much the same as I remember them last time.
Well, Perth is a big fucking city now, isn't it? It was only a little town. It was Larry Mullen discovered gold here, and he kept coming back. But now it is, it's amazing to see that, and to see actually, it's true. Like in the U.S., if you go to somewhere like Seattle, where a lot of music came out of the Depression there in Seattle in the 80s, and now it's this, metropolis. And we started our American tour in Las Vegas, and we ended in Seattle. And it was quite interesting because the people in Seattle with the big hair really didn't know what to do at all. And we thought when we got to Seattle, the people in the short pants and the skateboards wouldn't know what to do either, but they just went off on it in a very big way. And when you've got a big show like this, there is a danger that you're playing, when you're playing with Las Vegas next to a casino, it can get a little scary out there. And I could have sworn I saw somebody at the middle way back with a chicken supper, that was very scary.
I'm from the Melbourne Herald Sun. Welcome to Australia. What was important to you guys for the Popmart Tour? What did you guys want most to come across in the show that you present?
The music, that was always the intention. Zoo TV was a show of great ideas and concepts, and we had a blast, like playing with information overload. But when we put this tour together, we really wanted the music to be the centerpiece of everything. And I know, looking at the production, it might look like that was a big part of it, but that tension between the size of the production and the fact that there's 4 guys on stage was always something we were interested in working on. And I think on a good night, it's like the production just becomes like a backdrop, and then some nights, like the first night in Las Vegas, we felt we were struggling a little bit against it. But it's a fair fight.
The job of rock and roll, if it has any kind of job at all, is, to blow people's heads.
Yeah.
And we thought, look, we're playing these big places, and let's just do something fresh with them, something new. And when everyone else is kind of, into nostalgia, which is really peculiar to me, the fag end of the 20th century, you have all this obsession with the Beatles and the Stones and the 60s, and we just thought, let's do something that's forward-looking and fresh, and that's why we came up with this production. And it's a hard call to try and turn a shopping mall or a supermarket a casino into a cathedral. But that's actually what we're trying to do, and we're trying to find the spirit in the machine, if you like. We're trying to not go off to the beach or out, into, rococo country scenes. This is where we live. We live in a sort of neon time and place, and that's what we're trying to make it magical. And it's not trying to be smart arse or ironic at all. What we had in our head was to make like a big sci-fi gospel show. It was like the Jetsons supermarket we had in mind, but we wanted, Martin Luther King in the building, along with Elvis and anyone else we could find.
I'm Dylan from Recovery, and this year is Hannah. Greetings and welcome to Australia.
Hey,
Big show.
cool.
Hannah won a U2 competition, and she'd like to ask you a question.
Hi Anna, how you doing?
Do you think you're a different band now than when you first started?
Yeah, and no. Larry, do you want to answer that one?
We're a different band. We're a different band.
The reason, well, everyone else is a little older except me. Yeah, I think we've always wanted to do new things and different things, so we're always going to change. We never wanted to stay the same, and we're not very good at repeating ourselves. So, yeah, we are a different band, and we've always pushed the envelope, and we do things that maybe everyone doesn't like. And that's just part of the deal that we make with ourselves and with our audience, and that is that we don't want to be boring. We want to do new things. So, there you have it.
Ange Bishop from Channel 10. Have you been riding on the road this time, as always? That is a tradition that you guys understand. What sort of things have been
Well, we write all the time. Sometimes it's just a few ideas in a Walkman cassette, or in sound checks you might just try and improvise something. But I think it's all a bit of a set of scribbles so far. Nothing that's actually taken any shape. So I don't want to really say anything more.
We've got a great tune just started yesterday about women, actually. It's called "First at the Cradle, Last at the Cross." And I think it's going to be a great little tune. Really good. Women.
Kim Langley from Vogue, the band's 20th birthday this year. How are you going to celebrate?
We're in denial.
We're in denial, actually. Yeah.
We're in denial because we were together since we were 15 and 16. We're like 15 years younger, 20 years younger than the Rolling Stones or something. So it's kind of funky, the thought of being around for 20 years, but it's true, and it's a funny feeling. And everyone, people keep mentioning, when it was, and I guess it was around about now, but we can't remember the actual date, and I think it's because we don't want to, because we're not a band that thinks a lot about the past, and we're just your regular dysfunctional family,
Simon Downing from Channel 7's Today's Show. You've always been a pretty politically sort of band, some strong messages. What are your thoughts now that we're on the verge of another war in the Persian Gulf?
As I said to you, I think Isle of Man is where all this started. That Manx cat, it's been up to sit. I'll tell you, I just hope, I don't know what to think about it. I mean, the last Gulf War inspired, in a way, Zoo TV. We couldn't believe what we were seeing, the sort of video game aspect, to watching, I don't know if you remember the cruise missile go down Main Street, and the guy on CNN said, there's a cruise missile just gone by the window, and turned left at the traffic lights or something. And the idea that you could channel hop from that to, The Simpsons, or it was all, it just seemed to feel like getting to the end of the 20th century. I really would hate to go back there, and you know, I think Tony Blair and all these people, Bill Clinton and all, I mean, I just don't know. I would hate to be in their shoes. If they have to make those decisions, because we all know that, you know, Saddam Hussein's still going to be riding around, you know, because that's the way they want it, and the people, you know, in his parish are be the ones that suffer, which is kind of really sad, as well as this, you know, any service people who go out there and give their lives trying to do what they believe is right. It's kind of, I mean, war just, is there anything good about it? I just don't think there can be anything good about it.
How did you rate tonight's show and the audience?
I thought we were great. I thought we were great, and I thought that there was some great rockin' people out there, but it's very hard to play the seats. I just, you know, and we're gonna, you know, I'm just, you know, our message to people in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane is just, you know, just you've got to rock harder when you're faced with that, because rock and roll music's physical, you know, and if you're not on the groove, or if you're not kind of crashing into each other, then you've got it can become more internalized, and so we have to play better, and I think we played well, but I don't know. I just, you know, are people on drugs here? Because it was very stoned. I wouldn't say, like, if you play Amsterdam sometimes, there's a big cloud that follows that, and you walk out, and you know, you've just come from wherever, Belfast or whatever, and you just gone out and you think, yes, and it's all like that. So I got a bit of that tonight, and I thought I mustn't be fooled by the people, the rich folks, who, thank you very much and all, but seem to get the front seats. And I went to the people at the sides and at the back, and I felt they were great. I thought they were really great people. But I did, being honest with you, I got a bit of a fright. And we've made a few inquiries, and it turns out that somebody sold tickets in the front rows for $300, like blocks of them, okay, in a deal with the casino, and that stinks. And so we're kind of angry about that. But the rest of it, I thought it was great. I don't know about you. I'm like, yeah.
Just on that point, is that I understand only a small percentage of the shows have been indoor. The production's magnificent. Does it change for you as performers to play an indoor arena as distinct from what will be in Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane outdoor shows?
It's a pretty big space, even though it's indoors, so it didn't really change it so much, I don't think. The sound can be a bit troublesome indoors, I think, and that's the biggest difference, to be honest. But
they're great looking things, though, aren't they? These domes, the sort of super. They look great, and you know, it seems right that we should be in one. I just wanted to just kick it round a bit, you know, just like.
I think we're a bit spoilt though, because you know, we just came from South America, so it's probably also why we felt, you know, the contrast was.
It never made it in. Couldn't get in the door.
Yeah, well, that's.
It got no, it was lost or left behind in Santiago, along with Larry's drum riser, as well.
Yeah. And 50 gallons of gin.
And yeah, some of the gin for the tonic. What was that? Yeah.
This is Dylan, by the way.
I don't pause for air or no full stops or commas around here. Please barge in.
I noticed there's an Action Man theme running around on the stage with the muscle cross and stuff. Are we going to see you two action figures soon?
They're actually in the factory mating with the Spice Girls dolls at the moment, and they're so exhausted they haven't made it out onto the high street.
Actually, speaking of characters, what'll be next?
I don't know. I think the thing we've learned, really, after 2 tours like this now. I think they're really bold and brave tours and forward-looking. But one of the things we've learned is that the songs actually travel great distances, faster than all those millions of diodes and pixels that we have with the big drive-in movie screen, and our attempt to be audiovisual has been, I don't know, I can see the songs connect. That for me is, I think we've got to make a record that reflects where we're at now, right now. And where we're at right now is we're making very direct music, probably to contrast the circumstances of this tour. And I think that's where to go for us. And I imagine that's what's going to happen on the next record.
Does that mean the next tour might be a return to smaller venues earlier days?
I think it'll have to. I think we'll have to. I mean, we can't afford to take this fucking thing around the place. It's madness. You know, you're charging these prices for tickets. It's ridiculous. And we're not making any money out of this, I can tell you that. You know, this is just to get all of this shit down here, right? And not, you know, and not pay to play. So, and that's why I think we're so up on this. We're so proud of it. But you have to be an engineer, an electrician, a computer scientist, a painter, a video editor, a songwriter, a drummer, a guitar player, bass player, and a singer to do this. And maybe the next time I might, speaking for myself, just want to be a singer and a songwriter. Did I say singer, songwriter? I'm going to be after all these years.
But to do that, you're going to have to do a phenomenal amount of concerts. Just issue volume to perform the number of people want to see you.
Or just make the scalpers very rich, which we seem to be doing tonight anyway.
Link Free Magazine. I'm presuming that will happen. So what do you think of other religions like? Do you believe in other religions or there's Irish Catholics?
Whatever gets you through the night is my opinion, to be perfectly honest. I don't think religion should be used as a divisive thing. It should be it's personal, but I don't think it should be a cause for people to attack others, or, you know. I think it.
I'm starting my own religion.
And, Presbyterians, isn't it?
The Presbyterians.
Wake Up Dead Man, what would you hope that song says in the context in which you used it tonight?
It's just kind of a bummed out tune, you know. And a lot of people who have belief or faith, and I have, and sometimes I can't figure out why. A lot of people, even people with belief and faith, are very pissed off and very angry at the way, you know, the way things are in the world. And I think that's what that song is coming from, that place.
We were having a bad day when we wrote that one, you know, so it was, yeah.
What do you guys think of the current situation we're on with the Sinn Féin and that big swings that you evaluate the situation like that?
We kind of feel a bit out of touch because we weren't getting many papers in South America, but we're just all hopeful that it's...
Are they the goodies or the baddies at the moment?
They're the baddies right now because they've been thrown out. But it's every little step forward is hope, you know, and people are clinging on to that hope, and we're all just holding our breath. Really, is the way it is. It's a very complicated situation, and there's no clear way forward except talking. And
we played Belfast. It was one of the most rocking shows ever. And when the steel crews arrived with the bits and pieces of Popmart on the docks in Belfast at 1 o'clock at night, people from both sides of the community were out applauding the steel trucks and our crew a week before we got there. And it was an amazing feeling. And you could just, if you could somehow harness that, you know, in music, I guess there's no division, especially in our music, because we're certainly mixed up in that regard. You know, we come from all different traditions. But I think Edge is right. We're just holding our breath.
We've got time for just one last question.
When you played Perth about 13 years ago, you dragged a teenage girl out of the crowd. She just happened to be sitting over there. I wondered if you might remember her.
I never touched the. Was this?
I haven't brought a child with me.
We just kissed. Monica, is it? Excuse me.
You pulled me onto an amplifier. I still haven't washed. Be careful. Thank you. Very nice to see you again 13 years ago.
Yes. You never wrote, you never called.
She's the one from recovery. See, how old are you? She's 14. She'll see you in another 13 years.
I'm dealing from recovery.
Keep with the short pants.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thanks.
It was fun.
Thanks for waiting up and all. That was a bit late for everybody. Thanks for hanging around. See ya.
I'm watching this with breast cancer in a couple of months. Would you have a sign?
We're going to press it.
That's Jack Nicholson joining.